Never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished guests, comrades and friends.
I did vote, which was wonderful. We feel the same mood and we're all happy. Even my sister here, she must have a smile because she knows what she voted for. But I didn't tell me and I didn't ask her.
Bye-bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Very proud, very proud. So everybody is proud, and especially the old people. They never thought in their lives that they would ever have a vote in their lifetime. So this thing came as a surprise, and they're very proud of that because they never thought of it, that it could happen.
2 inches taller than I paid. At least. Yes, it's fantastic. I mean, I just want to jump.
I did not lie. Our discipline is known. Highly disciplined. And that's why the people of this country will vote ANC all the time. No, don't worry about that. There are parties that will never grow beyond a particular point. And they know it as they sit here. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
This is a vote that reminds us of 1994. Because in 1994, our people were just as excited as this, because they were heralding a new period, a new future for our country. And today, this is what I am also picking up.
Lovely. It's an incredible day for all of our people. And I mean all of our people, black and white, because as from now, we won't be able to say that illegal regime. It'll be our government, and we will be committed to working for this new South Africa that has begun today. The new South Africa where all of us, black and white, will be holding hands, working for a common prosperity. Isn't that fabulous?
Let me tell you a story and then I'll let you fill in the blanks. But before I do that, I just want to show you the coolest coin in the whole of South Africa, bro. Look at it, bro. Zoom in and look at it. It says, "Let us live and strive for freedom." That is such a beautiful coin. I've kept it for the rest of. So earlier this week, I'm at Pick and Pay Hyper, getting my stuff for stationery shopping, back to school, all that jazz. And the family in front of me say bye to the cashier. They're like, "Oh, bye." The mother says bye. The children, the 2 sons now say bye. And the cashier replies, very friendly, very fun, answer, "Bye. Like, I hope you, like, bye-bye. Enjoy your day." Bro, I was so excited. Who doesn't like a fun and friendly cashier to help them? So I go up. The cashier is like, "Oh, Ashe." I'm like, "Oh, hello." She's like, "Oh, the guy." I'm like, "Oh, fine, thanks. How are you?" She doesn't answer. Smile stops. Her eyebrow raises. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Then now I wish I understood what she said next. But all I know was that 1, it was very fast. 2, it was very Tswana, guys. So of course I'm like, "Oh, excuse me," as I'm putting the stuff now, my stationery on the conveyor belt. She stops scanning. She looks at me. She turns to her colleagues and she's like, "Oh." Did they not all start laughing at me right then and there in front of every another Pick and Pay? In my defense also though, guys, number 1, both of my parents are literally not, oh, let me correct. Only one of my parents is South African. And so we speak English in the house. I did not learn my home language at home. Number 2, ever since I was born, in 2005 I was born, and all my life since then, I've only ever lived in suburbs. Full stop. Guys, in 2009 though, I was around 4 years old. I didn't know what was happening. I was around 4 years old, literally as a child. But in 2014, and again in 2019, I was able to see that, like, oh, the adults around me are actually getting ready for this event, bro. They were getting ready to go walk around with their little ink, voters ink on their thumb. And I so desperately wanted that stripe on my thumb too. I'm like, no, it's going to be my turn. It's going to be my turn. It's going to be my turn. I'm 18 now. It's 2024. And it's my turn. I don't know though. I don't know if I am ready to vote though. I did register last June 2023. I registered in the back of an Uber. I saw an Instagram story from the IC. Went, clicked 5 steps, 10 minutes, and I'm done. Registered to vote. Didn't think twice about it in the back of that Uber. But I think now, and I'm like, bro, are you ready to vote yet? While I was doing research and trying to answer my question, like, oh, am I ready? Find my certainty, find my voice, find my vote, and all that stuff. I saw this quote, and it said, you cannot lead others if you do not know yourself within the context of your environment. I was like, okay, that helped me ask myself now 2 more specific questions. Number 1, am I ready to vote? Because I do not know who I'm voting for currently. Number 2, what does voting even mean, bro? It's my first time, guys. It's my first ever election. And I'm just a kid. 18 will always be a kid. I don't want to hear it. We are teenagers until we turn 21. So I read 2 articles to answer my 2 questions. The first one that I found was a 2013 News 24 article titled 2024 is our 1994, the reawakening of justice and freedom for South Africa, by Deborah Mwalusi, where he left his opinions on what a vote is, the meaning of a vote, and why it's so important in the upcoming elections. So to Mwalusi's father, his vote in the 1994 election represented a few things. It was a tribute to Chris Hani. It was a duty to South Africa, and it was a commitment to the liberation struggle and the future of his children. To Mwalusi, 10 at the time and new to a suburb, the 1994 elections represented a promise to end pain and ensure prosperity. Guys, this article seemed deep, bro. It seemed hectic. So I'm like, nah, let me go on and read some more. I found out a bit more about Mwalusi. I found out that, Mwalusi thinks that growing up in the Kasi his whole life until he moved closer to the time of elections was actually fun and fresh, bro. Him and his family moved from Pimville, Soweto, all the way to a suburb in 4 ways. And then they realize, oh, things are actually a bit different. For people like me, bro, who do not look the same as everyone around us in the suburb. Another fun fact about Mr. Mwalusi is the fact that he actually coined the phrase in 2022, he coined the phrase 2024 is our 1994. And I'm like, oh, that's where it came from. Because you cannot say that you haven't heard this phrase fly around in all sorts of streets and alleys of South Africa right now. It's being said by so many political parties and so many of their youth branches. And I think that's why I'm hearing it a lot and a lot and a lot. So another thing that I got from this article that I actually enjoyed so much was the quote, oh, you cannot lead others if you do not know yourself within the context of your environment. So I'm like, okay, Chelsea, what's the context of what is my environment even, bro? So I went and I did my own research. And I pulled up crime stats, the most recent crime stats report. And I pulled up a lot of other little stats from Statista and Because one thing about South Africa is the fact that it is actually titled one of the most unequal and violent countries in the whole world. So I wanted to understand, okay, let's unpack that some more. So the Crime Stats Report details the 463,641 reported crimes in the disturbingly brief 3-month period of July to September of 2023. These crimes include, but are sadly not limited to, commercial theft, aggravated robbery, murder, and sexual assault. The current youth unemployment rate is 58%. Skewed income distribution, unequal access to opportunities, and regional disparities are just a few major contributors to our experiences as non-equals in our country. These were all my words, by the way. All of that. And what that helped me realize now, unpacking the environment and seeing what's actually happening, was the fact that, guys, all South Africans are in some sort of, or experiencing some sort of a pain of their own. They're different kinds of pain, but everyone's experiencing their own kind of pain. It's a different one. And now it also led me to unpack the other topic of born frees, bro. Because, yep, the born frees are also experiencing a pain of their own. Now, fun fact, I actually, guys, I didn't know that people were calling us born frees. Didn't even know what it was. I had to go Google for myself and see what a born free even is. Like, I did not know it was that deep. But basically, from what I gathered, a born free is actually someone who was either, there are so many different categories now to classify someone as a born free, but all it is, and all that's important about a born free is the fact that a born free is born after 1994. Number one, they have to be born after 1994. Number two, they can be considered someone who came of age politically after 1994. So after that, like, you decide now, are you a born free? Are you not a born free? But now the second article that I actually had to read, and it wasn't an article, it was actually a journal, bro, literally like pat on the back on my back for that, was by this lady. I think now she's doctor, bro. Doctor. I'm going to call her doctor because it was published in 2015. And this was a postdoctoral student. Let me actually pull out her credentials. Yeah. This was a postdoctoral research fellow in the Mellon Media and Citizenship Project based at the School of Journalism and Media Studies at Rhodes University. This is Dr. Vanessa Malila, right? She was like, okay, cool. Y'all can have your definitions about a born free. We can call born free. We can call the youth born frees. But what do they even think about born frees? And what do they even think about the term born free, bro? Guys, did I not find out other stuff? Let me pull out my words. So, together with Dr. Malila, Google now, just searching up little definitions and trying to find out what even is happening, I managed to pull these words together. In a republic, citizens elect representatives to govern according to the law. In a democracy, citizens govern themselves. As a born free, I know it to be true that the only South Africa I've ever existed in is one that exists as a parliamentary representative democratic republic. But the term born free does not speak to my economic freedoms, political freedoms, cultural freedoms, or social freedoms. Since our first election in 2014, born frees have spitefully been stereotyped to be impulsively violent, ungrateful, and apathetic individuals who show little effort to be considered engaged members of South African society. The youth as born frees exist as individuals who refuse to acknowledge the sacrifices of previous generations. The youth as born frees exist as ignorant individuals who refuse to enjoy the fruits of freedom that our elders have so painfully labored for. And the youth as born frees exist as individuals who do not know how to take advantage of their democratic rights. But many of us don't even call ourselves born frees. Some of us didn't even know that that was a term used to describe us, because we have an identity of our own that should be allowed to exist separate from 1994. Born free was a name given to the youth by elders who viewed our identity in reference to 1994, South Africa, and democracy. I did not just come to that opinion by myself, bro. In that journal, Dr. Malila actually went and interviewed and kept track via journals and WhatsApp messages and BBM, bro. BBM. I've never used BBM. But she kept track of the experiences of 10 different born frees in the 2015-2014 period. And at the time, it was actually the 2014 general elections were happening at the time. Guys, I went on to say now, the term born free holds a strongly negative connotation among the youth because the youth have a pain of their own too. The youth should also be allowed the freedom of a voice and identity of their own too, however critical it may be of the hands that once fed them. The 2024, like the 2019 and 2014 South African general elections, presents an unmissable platform for our often dismissed voices and identities to be considered equals to those of the older generations. Now, I want to actually correct myself, stop myself dead in my tracks right there. I don't like the fact that I used often dismissed voices and identities. I don't think our voices and identities as the youth are often dismissed. I think rather a better term would have been misunderstood. Cause I don't know what just happened. My thing froze, bro. I think it's the born free police. I don't know. Or the older generations who are thinking that I'm not grateful for their sacrifices. I am grateful, bro. I appreciate everything that you guys have done and the position that I am now in because of the sacrifices that have been made. I just do think, though, that it is a bit unfair. And I hope you can understand that it's a bit unfair if all the time that what is going to be said in media or the voice that's going to be given to the youth in media is going to come through the lens of now elders who see the youth identity as one that only exists after. Like, maybe after is also the wrong word, but now in reference to the events of 1994. As in the youth, why I'm like, nah, the youth deserve a voice of their own too. The youth have an identity of their own too. It's because, bro, for some of us now, people like me, born in 2005, this is my first election. Yes, the South African public is going to have their opinion on people my age's performance in this, like, participation throughout this election. But I'm like, okay, cool. When is it our turn to say what actually happened for us when we went and crossed our little X's on the ballot paper? Let me continue. So as the youth, we know our own pains the best. And I do believe that we have made great demonstrations of the seriousness of our voice. But how seriously do we take our voice? If we cannot be certain about voicing our pain, then should we still expect the ears of previous generations? To expand on that just a little bit, if I could, I don't know, I just think that we know, guys, we have a voice. We've used it, we've demonstrated that voice and how powerful and how serious that voice is many, many times. I just think that now in the elections, it's time for us. The reason why I registered is because I'm like, oh, this is going to be my first opportunity to vote. Meaning, with my vote, it's going to be my first opportunity to use my voice. Like, I don't know. Ideally, guys, this is what I imagine an election to be. In a Barbie perfect little world, this is what's going to happen in the 2024 general elections, South African general elections. We're going to go. It's going to be voting day. Everyone, come. It's time to vote. The current president of South Africa is going to go cast his vote. Other candidates are going to go cast their votes. Now, billionaires and members of the richest families in South Africa are also going to go cast their votes. Me, Chazi Banda, an 18-year-old who's never voted before. It's just a regular student, bro. I'm literally just a second-year student in university doing my little thing. I'm going to go vote. I'm also going to go cast my vote. Why do I feel like, no, it's still worth me actually going to cast my vote? knowing that all of our votes, guys, are all going to be different votes. We voted for different people, but I'm still like, no, let me also go cast my vote. Because I feel like in an election, what is going to go happen is when we do fold our ballot papers and put them in the ballot boxes, that ballot box is going to be go sent off, and an official from the IEC is going to go tally these votes now and count. This vote goes to this party, this vote goes to this party, this vote. I do not think that our ballot papers are going to be different. The only thing that should be different on our ballot papers is the mark. If it's going to be if we're voting for different people. Kazi, it's not going to say, oh, this ballot paper is from the president of South Africa. This ballot paper is from a billionaire. This ballot paper is from an 18-year-old student. Let's do this about it. On election day, I really, really, really do think that we are going to have people, not I do think, guys, on election day, it is a fact that we're going to have all sorts of South Africans voting. We're going to have the hungry. We're going to have the underprivileged. We're going to have the unemployed. We're going to have the hurt. The list goes on, bro. The list goes on. And to me, election day represents a time where, all of our votes, because I think, yes, we say your vote, your choice, but I feel like we should hear more of your vote, your voice. Because on election day, it's going to be a chance for all of our voices to at least be equal. Let's hear them as equals. Let's exist for a bit, even in our very unequal country. Let's exist for just one moment, a few days a bit. As an equal, we have equal votes. Let's be equals. Because afterwards, now it's registration day. It's results day. It's results day. It's time to do your thing. Let's see who won. On results day, we're going to see which voice was actually loud enough to become the South African voice now in this party has won the majority, or this party is now with this party, that party is now with blah, 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 blah. I also do feel like registration, and why registration is so important to me and why I'm so passionate about it, is because to me, registering to go vote, even if you don't know who to vote for yet, is just such a confident display of how powerful you think your voice is and how you feel like, no, my voice should matter. And this is why I am going to go register to participate in this thing where it gives me the opportunity for my voice to be on a platform that allows for every other South African voice to be an equal voice or exist as equal voices. So I don't know. I just think that, guys, we hear a lot of this. The youth is this, the youth is that, the youth is that. It's now the first time now with this born freeze term. It's now the first time that the born freeze are actually making up a large portion of the voter population. I don't know how true this is, but I saw somewhere on an Instagraphic kind of little, here's a graph, here's a statistic, where it showed that actually the youth population of this whole voter population is actually enough to, if we all decided, guys, we're voting for this one party, that one party is winning. I don't think that we should all vote for one party. I really do feel like your vote should be personal to you. You need to find your own meaning for your vote. And I'm trying to find my own meaning for my vote. I have 3 options and I'm going to narrow it down. I know by the time it's elections time, it's one vote, one X on that ballot paper. But I just think that when we look at the statistics and we're like, almost 75% of all South Africans who are eligible to vote are actually registered to actually vote. Now, that's a lot. That's a good number. But it's a thing of the rest who are not registered to vote largely fall into the youth now, the youth population. And I know this because I ask my friends too, when I'm like, did you all register yet? Did you register yet? Did you register yet? Did you register yet? And they always say no. Why? Because they don't know who to vote for. Guys, it's hectic, it's intense, I get it, but the resources really are there. There are so many TikTokers and YouTubers here on South African ones, who are actually interviewing actual political party leaders of political parties, and interviewing them, asking them, why should we give you your vote as South Africa? It's not even a matter of now you just Google the manifesto or go on the website of a party anymore. It's getting easier and easier for us to start making our choices. I think when it comes to voicing our voice and all that stuff, I'm just gonna ask very nicely and very politely, dear 18 to 24-year-olds, Have you guys registered to vote yet, bro? Have you registered yet? If not, I'm gonna leave a little link in the description of this video for you to go register to vote. It's 5 steps. It took me 10 minutes, bro. I registered in the back of an Uber. But to me, those 10 minutes were enough for me to realize, oh, okay, let me actually start taking my voice seriously, because my voice is actually serious enough for me to go and participate. I don't know what I am gonna say on that ballot paper yet, but I do know that by the time it's time for me to go cast my vote, I will have something to say that is worth listening to. So that's all and all and all and all. That's all and all and all and all I have to share on the upcoming elections. I'll just ask you a question. Do you take your voice seriously? I'm going to stop asking, did you register yet? I'm going to ask, do you take your voice seriously? Oh. Then have you registered to vote yet? If not, why not? Because really, I don't think that I don't know who to vote for is the only excuse. Actually, there's so many other excuses that are even more valid that I might just not know of. But yeah, bye bye guys. See you on election day. I'm actually so excited. I have a few more months to narrow down my options. Bye bye.